The FNAF series is not really known for being very bloody or gory. Most people usually talk about the dark underlying story that is present in most games. But even though it may not seem like it, the FNAF story is very brutal and sometimes can be compared on the brutal aspect to a series like Saw. And this is not even counting the books, which, if you do not know, get very, very, very brutal. So why isn't the FNAF series considered so gory and bloody? Well, it is mostly because these deaths either don't happen on screen, or if they do, they are only pixelated or just intentionally not shown. And since so many people consider the FNAF series these days as being full of children and just family friendly, I want to make a video where I will rank these brutal deaths from the FNAF series and make you realize how dark this series can get sometimes. And as I said, this is not even counting the books, which are on another level of disgusting and gross. So let's begin by ranking these deaths. Now keep in mind that I may have missed some deaths, but I think that I got most. And no, I'm not counting the jump scares as ones, because we really don't know how they kill us after it, except for FNAF 1. Plus we are ranking these deaths as to how brutal they are and not how painful they are. So remember that. Although I'm still going to mention the pain. Number 11. Stabbed by a knife. Now this one is mostly known to be the cause of death for the missing children, Charlotte Emily, and who knows what else. It is commonly agreed that this technique of killing was used by William Afton, although it is not confirmed if it really was a knife, or some axe, or something similar. But since it was just a knife, it really wasn't all that brutal, and compared to some other deaths on this list, it really isn't bad at all. Number 10. Stuffed into an animatronic suit. This is the cause of death for a security guard who works at Freddy Fazbear's at night. It is known that the animatronics think that you are an endoskeleton and are trying to put you inside of a suit. It is not confirmed, but I think that after a jump scare in FNAF 1, they make us unconscious, and after putting us inside a suit, we bleed out from all the wires and sharp things in the suit. But that's just what I think. But again, on a brutal level, not that big. Number 9. Killed by a giant claw. This is how Baby killed. Her only confirmed victim is Elizabeth Afton, who then later possessed her. It probably wasn't really a nice death, that claw must have been painful. But when I compare it to some other deaths that are coming, it really isn't that bad, but not good either. Elizabeth probably didn't die immediately, but then suffocated or bled to death inside of Baby. Not nice. Number 8. Skull crushed by Fredbear. Now you may think that the death of crying child, also known as the Bite of 83, would be placed higher, but when you really think about it, it probably wasn't all that painful, since it was an instant death, and also wasn't that brutal. Yes, skull being crushed is not the most beautiful thing that you can imagine, but it isn't the worst either. Number 7. The frontal lobe bitten off. Also known as the Bite of 87, is death that is speculated to occur to Jeremy Fitzgerald during a night shift by an unknown animatronic. It may have been Mangled, Toy Chica, or someone completely different. That is also very similar to the Bite of 83, but there was just more blood. And also it is known that the person survived this attack for at least a while, so you can just imagine the pain. So just more bloody version of Bite of 83. Number 6. Scooped. The cause of death for Michael Afton. He got hit straight in the face by this sharp scooper, his organs were replaced by wires, and was basically a walking corpse. Now this death may seem very bad, but again, when you really think about it, Michael probably didn't feel all that much pain, there was not that much blood except for the scooping wound, and he still looked fine even after being scooped. Well, for a while. Number 5. Mangled by machinery. Surprisingly, a death from security breach. Now, we really don't know anything much about this, other than it was the cause of death for the therapist and that their bodies look pretty messed up. I'll probably put this death higher since it doesn't really seem all that nice, and the bodies probably were so gross looking, so I decided to put it in like a middle, since we really don't know anything much about it. Number 4. Face sliced off by a paper cutter. Now this place was really hard, but I finally decided that the death of Jeremy from FNAF VR deserves this place. Again, we don't really know much about this death, but just think, it must have been disgusting. His whole face, skin, being sliced off by a sharp paper. Like, we all know how much does a paper scratch hurt, but this is on another level. We don't even know, but he might have lived for some time after his face was completely sliced off. There was also blood everywhere. And just imagine a person with their face sliced off and their meat and flesh exposed. Yeah. Now we are getting to top 3. Number 3. Burnt alive. The cause of death for Henry Emily and Michael after being reborn. Now, I wanted to put his death a little lower on the list, but after some thinking, I've decided to put it here. Just imagine seeing a person being burnt alive, running, trying to extinguish the fire, but just can't. It really is such a horrible way to die. So I needed to put it higher on the list, because it just deserves it. Number 2. Getting torn apart by staff bots. Can you imagine it? Another death from Security Breach made it to top 3. This is the cause of death for Vanny in the Disassemble Vanny ending. Now you also may think that this death doesn't deserve this place, but it does. Just imagine, you standing, and then some deadly robots attack you from all angles and try to rip your skin, face, limbs, and just everything from you until you finally die. Not only must have been so painful, but also very disgusting to look at. A human being torn apart. I just had to put his death on number 2. And then, number 1, Spring Locked. Ah yes, the most memorable and well-known death from the entire FNAF series. The cause of death for William Afton. I don't think that I need to justify why I put it at number 1. I just don't. All of us can agree that it just deserves a place. Getting impaled by razor-sharp wires, endoskeleton parts, metal rods, needles from all sides of the body until you slowly, very slowly bleed to death. The pain must have been unbearable. Unbearable. Pain in every place of the body. Just... I hope you now realize how dark this series can get sometimes. And yes, the FNAF series may still be known as being family friendly, but that doesn't excuse the fact that some parts are just not made for kids at all. And even a game like Security Breach can get so brutal. But since most of these deaths are just quote-unquote censored, that's why FNAF isn't very known for being brutal. I would also like to see your own death tier list in the comments below. And if you like the video, then let me know, since I also want to make a part 2 where I will compare the deaths that happened in the books. But that will be so much harder to make. So, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.